Hi, I'm Clara Goldfucus and I'm here to talk about what is sports and recreational in the community. First, we need to know what is sports and recreation. Sports and recreation can be defined as the vast array of activities that people pursue in their leisure time, which means it is our during free time that people participate in recreation and sporting activities. Sports refers to any type of organized physical activities such as soccer, football, and basketball. Next, what are the benefits or importance of sports and recreation in the community? Sports and recreation events can be a great facilitator for community engagement and interactions, helping build a stronger bonds within your neighborhoods. Because sports and recreational activities play an important role in the communities. There are many benefits such as include improving your health and well-being of individuals, contributing to the empowerment of individuals, and promoting the development of inclusive communities. Recreations and sports teams or whole communities and are relevant people of all different ages, abilities, and level of skills. The types of recreations, leisure, and sports activities people participate in vary greatly depending to local context and tend to reflect the social system and cultural values.
Shatong, a traditional Filipino games. Shatong is a native Cebuano games, although no one can say when it exactly started. The game was so popular in the 70s and 80s that kids in the neighboring rural and suburban areas quickly adopted it. And sooner than expected, Shatong's popularity traveled as far as Mindanao and Luzon regions. The dawning of the computer age gradually killed the Filipino Shatong. Rarely, if at all, does anyone see Shatong play these days anymore. Computer games, high-end toys, and gaming devices effectively replaced the traditional pastime where toys were handmade from the scratch. But for the sake of preserving tradition, let's bring back Shatong to the fore. The Shatong mechanics. Shatong is an easy and fun game to play. First and foremost, let's play down the requirements of the game. Number 1 is space. The players locate a wide outdoor space to play. Preferably, the area is on solid earth as they need to dig a little furrow in the dirt. Number 2, number of players. At least 4 players are needed to play Shatong, but it's merrier when there are more participants in the game. This player splits to form 2 teams. One team plays the hitters and the other serves as the pitchers. 3 tools. 2 pieces of stick. One stick needs to be longer at about 12 inches in length and the other shorter at about 6 inches. The long stick serves as a bat and the shorter one is the hit. 4 is furrow. All participants decide on where to dig a shallow furrow on the ground. It's on the furrow when the shorter stick or hit is launched. How Shatong is played. 2 teams now decide on initial hitters by playing a jack and poy or rock, paper, and scissors game. Whoever wins become the initial hitters. They take their stand behind the furrow or at the base, while the pitchers position themselves a few meters opposite the base. The hitter first player now proceeds to start the first level of the game. How the winner is determined. Actually, there's no specific rule to Shatong playtime. Players always modify the rules and explore possible variations, all for the fun of it. But both teams agrees on when they end the game. In the most cases like what we did in our days, we determine a specific score to reach. For example, the set score is 100. The team that reached that score first is declared the winner. What the player learned in this game. Shatong is originally a children's game, but adults or the young at heart play it. After all, it's fun game for everyone to enjoy. Nevertheless, nevertheless, Shatong is not merely a pastime. It helps kids develop the value of taking turns and teamwork. And since involves counting, young children learn or hone their mathematical skill. Tips on playing Shatong. Number one, practice your batting skills to make sure the hit lands far from the base. Two, make strategy to prevent the pitcher from intercepting the hit. Three, be careful to avoid the hit landing on your head or other parts of the body. Thank you.
Good day to everyone. My name is Ryan Clarence M. De La Cruz. The topic that I'm going to discuss in sport and recreation is Tumbang Preso. Tumbang Preso, also known as Tumbalata or Batolata, is a traditional Filipino children's game. The game involves throwing a slipper, a takan, or a bottle, which one player, the taya, attempts to guard. The game is usually played in backyards, parks, or in the streets when there is a little traffic in an area. The equipment needed is an empty soda can or any kind of can bottle, and a sleeper for each player. To make the game enjoyable and exciting, there should be no more than 9 players. One player or the taya guards the can. The objective of the game is for the players to hit and knock down the can with the slipper, and for the taya to put back the can inside a small circle, a few meters away from the toe line. When a player is tagged while recovering their slippers, they become the taya.
Our topic is Dokson Tinek. The goal of this topic is to know the origin, how to play the game, and its rules, and of course, the benefits. The Luksong Tinek, or also known as jumping over thorns, is originated from Philippines, city of Cabanatuan. It became more popular game as native street games in 70s to 80s. For the clarity of terms, the mother is simply the team's leader. The child is simply the members. Base players is players who are making turns of hands. Jump players is players who are jumping over thorns. The main objective and its rules of this game is to jump over the height of the piled hands of the opposing team and avoid hitting the piled hands with any part of the jump player's body or clothing. On the base, two players face each other, each putting one foot forward and touching the other base player's foot. Then, one by one, each member of the opposing team begins jumping over the feet. When everyone has finished jumping over the feet, the players on the base add one hand or one foot at a time. The palm and fingers must stretch for wider occupation of space. The process is repeated until all of the base players' hands are piled up. When all of the jumpers have successfully jumped over without colliding with the base player's hands, the game is reset with the jumpers leaping over again. If the mother's children hit the hands of the base players, it's considered a fault or simply fail to do the objective. Mother must do the jump for his child. If the mother fails in making a successful jump, it's time for the base player's turn and take jump. The benefits of this game is to get the child be more physically active and social skills to interact with adult children. Cooperation, coordination, and teamwork to strategize and overcome the difficulties they're having. And lastly, it brings them happiness to enjoy the game.
What is Kadang-Kadang? Kadang-Kadang, which is also known as Tiyakad in Tagalog, was first played in Cebu in the year 1969. Kadang-Kadang is the traditional Filipino game which is played during laro ng lahi or recreational activities. Kadang-Kadang, which also means simple play in an outdoor game that is played using a bamboo stick. To play the Kadang-Kadang, you need a pair of bamboo poles with equal lengths and a step ladder of foot size to serve as the platform for the player's feet. The bamboo has a height of 10 feet from the ground, but in the present era, Filipinos modified the height of the bamboos, making it higher. Primarily, kadang-kadang is a racing game. Before starting the game, players should form two parallel lines with a distance of 100 meters apart to serve as the starting and finish line, and then mark every 25 meter each of line. The game needs 4 players in each team. The players are set in a way that the first player stands behind the starting line, while the second player will stand behind the 25 mark of the line. The third player behind the 50th mark, and the fourth player stand behind the 75 mark. The rule of the game is just simple. On the signal get set, the players stand at the starting line with his stilts. At the signal go, the first player mounts on his stilts and start walking on the 25 mark. After reaching the mark, he gets off from the stilts and hand it down to the second player, who will do the same while going to the 50th mark. The same pattern goes with the third and fourth player until they reach the finish line. A player loses if he gets off the stilt twice before reaching the finish line or gets off the stilt after 2 steps. In the game Kadang-Kadang, the players will be able to build up their concentration, teamwork, and sportsmanship. In this game, balance is an important element. If you know how to balance yourself, you will be able to perfectly play this kind of game. Kadang-Kadang is not only for recreational activities, it could be also be played during free time when you are with your playmates, friends, and families.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Shaira Meridaro Sabulao, and my report is all about playing Pico. How to play Pico? Playing Pico is very simple. All you need to have is marker, usually chalk or Crayola, or anything that can be used to draw lines in the concrete grounds. Some place in plain ground, a sandy loam soil, and draws the mark using a stick. Origin of Pico. This traditional game is not only popular in the Philippines before, but also in many parts of the world, but the rules and mechanics varies on locations. The earliest record was in 1677 in Poor Rowan's Almanac, with the name Scotch Hoppers Pico. Interactive LLC is an American video game publisher based in San Antonio, Texas, founded in early 2013 by Ellie Galindo. Next, the basic rules of Pico. First, the pamato must not land on any line as the hopper throws it onto any box. Second, the pamato must not touch the line as the hopper kicks it from one box to another in the diagram. Third, the hopper's foot must not touch any of the lines, change foot, or take a rest while hopping. If he does, he stops and leaves his pamato where he got fouled. The opponent then takes his turn to play. And the last, if the opponent commits a foul, he stops and leaves the pamato like a first hopper. The first hopper resumes playing where he had stopped earlier. Last is the benefits of Pico. This game helps children to master body control. Hopscotch also helps children to manage body rhythm, which is the core of numerous other skills. Movements involve build body strength, balance, eye or hand, coordination, and more. It's a great social campfire for young children.
So, hello everyone. So, my report is all about patintero. So, the origin of patintero is derived from the Spanish word tinta, sa tinta ng ballpen. Ito ay tint or ink, in reference to the drawn lines. Another game or another name for it is tubigan, tubiganay, or tubig-tubig. That's called water game, due to the fact that the grid lines are also commonly drawn by wetting the ground with water. So, ang larong patintero is all about tubig sa gawa or gawa siya sa tubig para na rin sa magandang paglaro ng mga bata para hindi sila maaksidente kasi kapag ayun nga sa lupa sila is magagasgasan yung paan nila. So patintero is one of the most popular Filipino street games. It is similar game na Squid Game from Korean in 1997. So, the rules or how to play this game are 2 teams are needed, each with around 2 to 6 players. One team acts as the taggers, the other acts as the runners. This is usually decided by a game, jack and poy or coin toss. And magdi-decide sila kung sino ang magiging passer o sino magiging runner pag kagamit ng jack and poy. Kung sino manalo, siya magiging passer, o kung sino maging talo, siya magiging runner. So ibabaliktad lang yun. And then the goal of the game is for the offensive player is to get as many players through the court without being tagged by the defensive players. Yes. So, two benefits of this game are to develop gross motor skills, hand-eye coordination, and strategic thinking. So, the skills practice are safe tagging, agility, evasion, balance, and spatial awareness. So, nakakatulong to sa physical development and they can boost their creativity about this game. And that's all about the patintero games. Thank you.
Good day everyone. My name is Kaylee M. Paurelio from BSBA MKT 3F. Today I will discuss a word factory or word factory game. First is, what are the rules of word factory? The one basic rule of word factory is to list as many words as possible in 3 minutes. Wordplay is a version of the game in Google, which is distributed by the Hasbro company. Word Factory is a simple game for 2 or more players. With a large number of players, it may be easier to break into teams for the competition. The game components are 6-sided cubes with a letter on each side. A game board and a shaker. The rules of gameplay are fairly straightforward. In this game, you need to list a word as many as you can in just 3 minutes. So, the player who has more unique words than the rest gets a point. So, in the end, the person who has the highest points wins. Next, prepare the game board. Use the shaker to mix up the letter cubes. Allow the cubes to fall into place in the letter tray. Players can take turns shaking the letters on each round. Dito ay, bago ka magsimula sa paglalaro, kailangan mo munang i-mix ang letter cubes para makakuha ka ng words na pwede mong ilagay o pwede na kapag points, makakuha ka ng points. Start the timer and look for words. When the timer begins, all players write down the words found on a sheet of paper. Words can be made in any direction, up, down, left, right, and diagonal. Players cannot use the same letters more than once in a word. Any words that is found in a standard English dictionary is allowed. In this game, if you look the words, the only allowed is noun, adjective, adverb, and etc. Add up the points. When the time is up, calculate the points. 3-letter words are worth 1 point. 4-letter words are worth 2 points. 5-letter words are worth 3 points, and so on. Words with 8 or more letters are worth 6 points. The person or team with the most points win. So, if you want to gain higher score, the key is to look for longer words. This is how you win the game. Next is History of Board Game Word Factory. The history of board game Word Factory is that it was first published in 1978 by Eureka Toys and Games. The game involves rolling dice with letters on them and using the results to spell words. The first use of the word factory was in 1582. A factory is a place of business used to build or make cars or even clothing. The mechanics and guidelines of this game is each team should provide 4 players and 4 substitutes. No gender preference. To start the game, each player searches for words that can be constructed from of sequentially adjacent cubes, where adjacent cubes are those horizontally, vertically, and diagonally neighboring. Words must be at least 3 letters long, may include singular and plural, or other derived forms, separately, but may not use the same letter cubes more than once per word. Each player records all the words he or she finds by writing on a private sheet of paper. After 3 minutes have elapsed, all players must immediately stop writing and the game enters the scoring phase. So, in this game, each player independently searches for words in the grid. To use a word, its letters must be adjacent to each other in the grid. Each letter cubes may only be used once per word. Only words written on the paper in the allotted time count for the players. Scoring is in the scoring phase. Each player reads of his or her list of discovered words. If 2 or more players wrote the same word, it is removed from all players' list. Any player may challenge the validity of a word, in which case a previously nominated dictionary is used to verify or refute it. For all words remaining after duplicates have been eliminated, points are awarded based on the length of the word. The winner is the player whose point total is highest, with the ties typically broken by count of long words. Once cube is printed with Q, this is because Q is nearly always followed by U. In English word, see exceptions. And if there was a Q in Google, it would be challenging to use if a U did not by chance appear next to it. For the purposes of the scoring, Q counts as 2 letters. Squid would score 2 points for a 5-letter word, despite be formed from a chain of only 4 cubes. So for the scoring is player may count up their total of total number of words to not disqualified on their list. So the player with the highest total is win, and one player should consult a dictionary to confirm spelling, misspelled or invalid words are marked off the player's list. The last is type of words allowed. These words are allowed you to use in factory game. Any words must use noun, verb, adjective, adverb, and etc. Plural of, form of, or tense is acceptable as long as it can be found in a standard English dictionary. Scrabble dictionary is also acceptable. Proper nouns, Smith, Ohio, France, etc. are not allowed. Words within word are also permissible. Spare, spa, par, are, spar, spare. These are the words that allows you to use in proper way to get a higher score and win the game. The factor game can enhance your vocabulary and you can learn a new words in a fun and interactive way. But importantly, the game allows the players to bond and interact with each other in a meaningful way.
Chess. Chess is the one of the oldest and most popular board games. It is played by two players, and yung objective ng larong to is makuha yung king ng kalaban. It also has some health benefits. It promotes brain growth. It exercises both sides of brain. Raises your IQ, help and prevent Alzheimer's, improve recovery from stroke, or disability and optimize memory improve. History of chess. Chess is as we know it today was born out of the Indian game, Chaturanga before the 600 AD. The game spread throughout Asia and Europe over the coming century and eventually evolved into what we know as chess around the 16th century. One of the first masters of the game was Spanish priest named Ruy Lopez. Basic chess rules in chess. Each player to turn to make a single move. Players cannot choose to skip a turn, they must move a piece. Each chess piece moves in a specific way and must be moved according to its legal movement.
So right now, let's proceed to Zumba. What is Zumba? Zumba is a fitness program that involves cardio and a Latin-inspired also. It was founded by a Colombian dancer and choreographer based on Beto Perez in 2001. And by the 2012, it had 110,000 location and 12 million people taking classes every week. Zumba is a trademark owned by Zumba Fitness LCC. Taking Zumba may burn between 300 to 900 calories during 1 hour of meal. To high intentionally Zumba, doing this 2 or thrice a day or a week combined with weekly strength training session and balanced diet may help you meet your weight loss goals.
What is Scrabble? Scrabble is ultimate crossword game is the which every letter counts. Grab your friend and take turn on word in the board. After playing your turn, count the value of all letters in every new word. The new form. Do not forget the bonus point from playing letter in the premium square. Scrabble rules. The basic objective Scrabble is the play tiles marked with letter on 15 times 15 grid to form word. After the initial word is the playing player take turn adding word in exciting letter. The color mark premium square in the letter or work the playing to square or the work mark point. Each the tiles of a letter and a number on it. The letter is used to reconstruct the word, and the number indicated is a point of value. There's a letter frequency and the point value. Rules. Games only have 2 players. Each match has 2 games. One which in the player playing first. Player initially draw 7 tiles each in the play. Place the rock. The first player combine 2 or more this here letter 2 from a word and place. It's one aboard to read and then cross or done with the letter on the center square. Diagonal words are not allowed. After playing a word, the player receives the placement letter, one from each letter played. Following the first turn, player ultimate each player series or tiles forming a word. Possible more than word is below. And then draw new tiles. Always keep 7 tiles on rock unless there are not enough tiles left. The letter placed as a single turn match all be a single horizontal row or a single vertical column in the letter place. Plus letter already as a word. Match from the single word from the dictionary which now gaps. It's a new word match connect to the existing word in one following way. Scoring. The scoring for each turn in the sum of the letter value in each word from or modifier and turn plus additional point combined from placing letter on premium square. Premium letter square A light blue square double of score. A letter placed is a dark blue square triple letter square. Premium word square in the score of the entire word. Double when one is a letter placed in the pink square is a triple wings. One of the letter is a place in the red square. Include premium from double or triple letter value. If you before doubling trinket word is score. If a word from the cover 2 premium word square, the score is a double of the double 4 times letter count. Or triple is a letter count, a 9 times letter count. Letter and word premium. Count only on the turn in which they are playing on letter turn letter already placed on premium square count of face value. When a blink tile is playing on the pink and red square, the value of 2 words double or triple enough the blink insert no score value. When 2 or more words are from the same place, it's just score the common letter and count. The shuffle premium value is any from each other. Each word. If you playing 7 tiles and turn sa call of bingo, your score additional 50 points after turn-wise totaling your score from the turn. I'm playing letter win the game end of player score reduced by some of his or your playing letter in additional. If you playing use all of his letter and some as the letter play on player. Letters adding the player score. The Player with highest final score with the game is in case of the tie. The one with the highest score before adding or deduct implying letter wins.
Table tennis. Table tennis is also called ping pong, a ball game similar in principle to lawn tennis and play on a flat table divided into equal courts by net picks across its width at the middle. The object is to hit the ball so that it goes over the net and bounces on the opponent's half of the table, in such a way that the opponents cannot reach it or return it correctly. History of tennis. The game was invented in England in the early days of the 20th century and was originally called ping pong. A trade name, the name table tennis was adopted in 1921 to 22 when the Old Ping Pong Association, formed in 1902, was arrived. The original association had broken up about 1905, but apparently the game continued to be played in parts of England outside in London, and by the 1920s was being played in many countries. Table tennis. A match consists of the best of any odd numbers of games, each game being won by the player who first reaches 11 points or who, after 10 points each, wins 2 clear points ahead. A point is scored when the severe fails to make a good service, when either player fails to make a good return, or when either player commits a specified infraction, touches the playing surface with the free hand while the ball is in play. Service changes hands after every 2 points until 10 all is reached, when it changes after every subsequent point.
My name is Iverson Empaicano from BSBA Marketing 3F, and this is my report about the Game of the Generals. Game of the Generals, also called GG or GOG, as it most fondly called, or simply the Generals, is an educational war game invented in the Philippines by Sopronio H. Pasola Jr. In 1970, its Filipino name is Salpakan. It can be played within 20 to 30 minutes. And why Game of the Generals invented? Because the game thought to be a challenge to chess. A big chess player thought it was meant to denigrate their favorite board game. February 28, 1973, February 28, 1973, on this day, the Game of the Generals was officially introduced to the public. The educational board game was invented by a Filipino named Sopronio Pasola Jr. And there is the rules of the Game of the General. A player move their flag to the other player's side of the board, and a player must reach the other side of the board in a spot wherein the other player can't capture it on the next turn. The black player has moved their flag the other side of the board and has won the game, and the player is allowed move only one piece at a time. And a move consists of pushing piece to an adjacent square, either forward, backward, or sideward. The objective of the game is to eliminate or capture the flag the opponent, or one maneuver one's flag to the far edge of the board and the opposing back rank. And this is the subject following conditions. How to play Game of the Generals. A player can win of the generals in couple different ways. One player captured the other's player's flag. The white player has captured the flag. The black player's flag and has won the game. And a player moves their flag to the other player's sides of the board, and one of the players forfeit. Both players agree to a draw. And the benefits, the benefits of the Game of the Generals. The benefits of this game it optimizes the use of logic, memory, and spatial skills. It simulates the fog of war because the identities of the opposing pieces are hidden from each player and can only be guessed by their location, movements, or from the results of the challenges.
Next topic is all about personal and interpersonal skills in sports and activities. What is personal skills? Personal skills, these are the abilities possessed by an individual. Ibig sabihin nito, these are the abilities na naturally natin na-acquire na kung saan ito yung nagiging kalakasan natin in order to perform a specific sports or activities. Merong dalawang category ang personal skills. These are the soft skill and the hard skill. Soft skill, it refers sa way natin ng pakikipag-communicate or yung ating personality. Hard skill, these are the skill na kung saan kinakailangan natin aralin through education and experience. Kasi nga, hindi naman lahat ng skill is na-acquire natin naturally. While interpersonal skills, these are the set of abilities needed by a person to positively and effectively communicate with others. Ibig sabihin nito, ito yung skills na ginagamit natin in order to connect to others. For example na lang natin dito is yung teamwork is nagagawa natin makipag-cooperate sa iba or showing a positive attitude na kung saan nagagawa natin makapagpakita ng sportsmanship. Benefits of developing personal and interpersonal skills. Unang-una sa lahat, kapag dinedevelop natin yung ating skills, is nagagawa rin natin i-improve yung ating self-confidence, kung kaya't napupush tayo makipag-social interact sa iba. Pangalawa, syempre, habang nagjo-join tayo sa mga different sports or activities, nag-enjoy tayo, and then gagawa rin nating i-release yung ating stress, and syempre makapag-relax. Pangatlo is nagagawa rin natin ma-improve yung ating mental or physical body kung saan nagiging productive tayo. And last is learning a new skill kung saan nagagawa natin ma-explore yung different areas ng sports or activities.
What is mountaineering? Mountaineering or alpinism is the set of outdoor activities that involves ascending tall mountains. Mountaineering-related activities include traditional outdoor climbing and skiing. Indoor climbing, sport climbing, and bouldering are also considered variants of mountaineering basal. Mountaineering is a compound exercise that uses multiple muscle groups throughout the body. Mountaineers are an effective way to strengthen your arms, back, shoulders, trunk, and legs. Another benefit of using multiple muscles at the same time is an increased heart rate, which helps you burn more calories. What are the importance of mountaineering to our lives? It improves your self-esteem, mental agility, and self-awareness. It's a great stress buster and a full body workout, so it's good for general well-being. Climbing requires a lot of problem solving, mental concentration, and focus, so it helps sharpen your brain. The most obvious benefits are improving both your physical fitness and cardiovascular fitness levels, as well as reducing body fat through aerobic exercise. What equipment is needed for mountaineering? Mountaineering gear. Mountaineering boots, shoes, crampons, a climbing helmet, rope, climbing harness, and rescue equipment for climbing are standard items for almost every mountaineering climb. Also, we need to wear a proper clothing for climbing. Every mountain climber must have survival skills on top of physical and mental strength, endurance, resilience, and cunning. And every group mountaineering excursion preparation is crucial. You need to know your route well and be aware of the risk you might encounter.
Hi, I'm Rubichin Esma, and I will be reporting treasure hunting amazing race. This study, we talk about origin, rules, how to play, and benefits of amazing race. Is the amazing race a treasure hunt? Amazing Race is also called Treasure Hunt. The scavenger hunt is one of the greatest challenges in Amazing Race game. Here the team uses clue to find items designated location. The team members have to work together during hunt, navigate custom designed route to find the hidden items. Let's tackle the origin of Treasure Hunts. Treasure Hunters is a reality television series on NBC US and Global Canada, in which 10 items of solve puzzles and complete challenges in hopes of solving ultimate puzzle and winning the grand prize. Teams traveled across the United States and Europe in search of 7 artifacts, which, when assembled, will lead to the cave. Find the key and find the treasure. The challenges and puzzles are spliced with American history, and the ultimate goal is to find hidden treasure, leading the show to be compared the various occasions to film National Treasure. The value of the treasure in the series was revealed on the season finale to be $3 million. The 2-hour premiere episode aired on June 18, 2006, and beginning June 26, the series moved to its regular Monday night time slot. The season finale was broadcast live on August 21, 2006. The rules: how to play treasure hunting. Plan your route, scout out locations, write and number the clues and put them in the numbered envelope. Give yourself lots of time to plan. Get helpers, buy in, set it up, prepare for contingencies, and in some random rewards to keep things interesting. Set ground rules in advance. Go with them. Delegate. To play Treasure Hunting Amazing Race. Step 1. List team members. Step 2. Plan the strategy. Step 3. We need teamwork. Step 4. We need to finish the task to proceed next level. Step 5. We need to pass the envelope or flags to the coordinator to win the competition. The benefits of this game is develop patience, paying attention, teamwork, exercise, self-confidence, and creativity.